my dear friends, my name is Megha and welcome to my channel Score Points. I am going to teach chapter 2 of class 12 biology, sexual reproduction in flowering plants. In this chapter we have to learn about flower, pre-fertilization event, double fertilization, post-fertilization, apomixis and polyembryony. So let's start with the parts of flower. Flower is the sexual reproductive part of angiosperms. Floriculture, the branch of ornamental horticulture concerned with the growing and marketing of ornamental flowers, is termed as floriculture. You can see the diagram of a flower. Now we can learn each part in detail. The first one, it's calyx. The outermost and the first accessory whorl is of sepals and it's called calyx. The second part, it's corolla. The second accessory whorl is of petals and this is corolla. Next to the corolla is the male reproductive whorl of stamens, which is called as androecium. The female reproductive whorl is of carpels and it's called gynoecium or pistil. Important functions of floral members. First, it's calyx. The main function of calyx is to protect the flower in bud condition. When calyx is green in color, it is photosynthetic in nature. When calyx is colored, it attracts insects for pollination. This is the important function of calyx. Function of corolla. It provides color and scent to attract pollinators. Sometimes the base of corolla is having secretory glands which secretes nectar in some flowers. It also provides protection to the plant. The main function of androecium is the production of microspores. Microspores are pollen grains which contain male gametes within the anther lobe. On the other hand, gynoecium, it's female, so the function of gynoecium is the production of megaspores, fruits and seeds. Parts of flower. The outermost and the first accessory whorl of sepal is called calyx. The second accessory whorl of petal is called corolla. In a flower, 4 different sets of whorls of floral membranes are attached to the central axis called thalamus. You have seen all of the above. Now we can learn the male reproductive unit of a flower, which is stamen. Stamen consists of following parts. 1. It's filament. Filament is a long slender stalk. You can see the diagram on the board. The second one is anther. Anther is generally bilobed, terminal structure. Structure of anther. Anther is composed of 2 anther sac or lobe, which is separated by a tissue called as connective tissue. Anther is generally bilobed or it has 2 lobes and each lobe or sac has 2 theca separated by a septum. Anther is tetragonal or 4-sided structure consisting of 4 microsporangium, 2 in each of the lobe. We know that anther is bilobed, which means it has 2 lobes and 2 lobes are having 2 microsporangia in each, which means a total of 4 microsporangia. Microsporangia develop and transform to pollen sac. Inside the pollen sac there are pollen grains. Structure of microsporangium. A typical microsporangium, it appears circular and is surrounded by 4 walls. 1. Its epidermis, outermost single layer. Second one, its endothecium. Endothecium is a second layer. It consists of thick cells that helps in dehiscence or the release of pollen grains. Third layer, it's the middle layer and it's composed of 1 to 3 layers. It helps in dehiscence. The first 3 layers are generally protective in nature. The fourth layer, it's tapetum. It's the fourth and innermost layer of the cell. It has dense cytoplasm and many nuclei. The main function of tapetum is providing nutrition to the developing pollen grains. So these are the layers of a microsporangium and it's very important. Now we can see the enlarged view of one microsporangium and it shows the wall layers. One outermost, its epidermis, then the second layer endothecium, middle layer towards the middle, and then the final tapetum layer which provides nutrition. Inside the tapetum layer you can also find the microspore mother cells. Important term here, it is sporogenous cells. The center of each microsporangium, it's filled with closely arranged similar cells called as sporogenous cells. At maturity, the pollen sac is formed by the fusion of 2 microsporangia in each lobe. Now we can learn how the microspores are produced or pollen grains are produced from the microsporangium. It's through microsporogenesis, the process of formation of microspore from pollen mother cell by meiosis. It's termed as microsporogenesis. So we have seen in our previous videos that genesis, the term means formation. Microspores are formed from microsporangium. Pollen mother cell will undergo meiosis and it forms microspores. Each cell of sporogenous tissue in a microsporangium act as potential pollen mother cell or PMC, which is also called as microspore mother cells. PMC undergo meiotic division and it forms cluster of 4 cells called microspore tetrad. On maturity, anther dehydrates and microspores separate from each other to form pollen grains. So first of all, the PMC will undergo meiosis to form microspores tetrad. This microspore tetrad means 4 in number. These are the cluster of 4 cells. On maturity, the anther will dehydrate and will form pollen grains by separation of microspore from each other. Now we have seen that the microspores separate from each other to form pollen grains, and by the process of microsporogenesis, we obtain pollen grains. Pollen grains develop by meiotic division from PMC. We have seen that the pollen grain represents the male gametophyte. Generally, pollen grains are spherical in shape. Pollen grains are having 2 layers, which is exine and intine. Exine is the outermost layer, which is made up of sporopollenin. Intine is the innermost layer, which is made up of cellulose and pectin. This is important. The 2 layers of pollen grain is very important. Now you can see the diagram of pollen grain. It has exine and intine. Exine is hard layer which is made up of sporopollenin. Sporopollenin is having a very important property. It is the most resistant organic matter present in the nature. It can resist acids and alkalis. The inner thin layer is intine. It is made up of cellulose and pectin. The exine has an aperture where sporopollenin is absent. This aperture is called germ pore. Pollen grains can be preserved for many years because of the presence of sporopollenin in exine layer. Stages of microspore maturing into a pollen grain. The newly differentiated pollen grain has a central nucleus and dense cytoplasm. The protoplast mitotically divides into 2 unequal cells. One is the bigger vegetative cell and the other one is a smaller generative cell. The bigger vegetative cells are rich in food reserves, and the smaller generative cells, these are spindle shaped with dense cytoplasm. Since it has 2 types of cells, that is bigger vegetative cells and smaller generative cells, this is called a 2-cell stage. In majority of angiosperms, pollen are released in 2-cell stage, whereas in other species or other plants, the generative cells divides into 2 male gametes and thus pollen is said to be in a 3-cell stage. Angiosperms generally has 2-cell stage, whereas other species of plants, they have a 3-cell stage. We have learned how pollen grains are formed by the process of microsporogenesis. We have also learned the structure of pollen grains. Now we can learn the importance of pollen grains. Pollen grains contain male gametes for sexual reproduction. Pollen grains are nutrient rich and can be taken as food supplements. They are stored in liquid nitrogen at -196 degrees Celsius to be used later in crop breeding programs. Now you can see the plot for the above session. Of part A. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe. Keep learning and score points.